Hello everybody and welcome to the Quilters Apothecary. I want to take a minute of your time and introduce you to our wonderful addition to the Misty ruler set, which is the MystiCurve 2. I think you're going to love it. Let me show you. Here is our wonderful new line. So let's take a minute and let's compare our MystiCurve 2 and our MystiCurve 1. One of the things that I know is that I love the way that the MystiCurve 1 feels, of course, with the 45-degree handle. It works really nice. It's got perfect balance. And I love to use this, especially with the arthritis in my wrist, which is actually why I came up with this particular ruler those years ago. But many times I also want to participate in not just an outer curve, but I also at times need an inner curve. But my problem with the flat ruler, again, for me personally, is it's hard to hold the ruler. I have bad hands, I have a bad wrist, and so after 6 to 12 hours of this, I struggle. So what we've done is we've created this wonderful handle for the MystiCurve 2, and it's long, so you're never at a place on the ruler when you're trying to work that curve and travel where you don't have a place for support and leverage, whether you're using the inner curve or the outer curve. You still have that wonderful support and ergonomically correct hand placement, no matter which size of these you go with. So I think the best thing to do is to take you to the machine and give you an example of one of the ways I use this wonderful new ruler. This wonderful 60s Dresden fan block I am actually going to ditch around the outside of this curve. Now, for most of us, it's real hard to find a curve that matches exactly. So I want to show you an extra tip with this, and that is to find a curve similar. And in this case, I'm using the MystiCurve 1 XXL, so the XXL large. So I'm going to slide that in, and what I'm going to do is, even though the curve does not match exactly, when I come around, I can hold this stable, and even with the size, that handle keeps me perfectly stable. Now when I come up here also, I'm going to start to shift that curve a little bit to stay as close to that ditch as I can possibly get. So I'm going to curve it, follow that curve, and I'm going to just shift that curve as I move. Now also, whenever I'm working with a ruler that's this big, I don't just have my hand way back here. Whether you're using a flat ruler without a handle or a ruler with a handle, you still want to try to keep your fingers out a ways from the needle section, but also near the needle section, and that's going to keep your ruler nice and stable. That way you're not going to run into any accidents with up and over. That's one of the whole reasons to have a handle on a ruler, is it helps keep that stable. So now I'm going to follow this around, and I'm going to have a perfect ditch even though I don't have a perfect curve. So now I want to take you to a block and show you how I'm going to use the MystiCurve 2. Just as with any tradesperson, we need tools, and we need the type of tools that we need for the jobs that we need to have them. Now my MystiCurve 1, I could use, but what would happen is it would be behind the foot, which can be a little awkward. And with the MystiCurve 2, now I have that inner curve which matches up perfect. So now I can lock my stitches up here, and as I'm shifting the ruler with the leverage point, I can travel that leverage handle all the way down while I'm quilting it. And it's going to give me perfect stability and perfect control. Let me show you. We are locked down at the end. I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm going to look at the first, in this case, the curve, it's about the first 3 inches that the ruler stays pretty stable. And now I start to shift it, and notice what's happening here. I've got this knuckle rested on this upper corner here, and I've got my thumb as leverage right here, so it's keeping this perfectly stable as I shift this curve around here. And it's keeping my hand in a position that my arthritis is not going to go crazy, as well as, I hate to say it, my onset of carpal tunnel. So I'm coming around here, and again, this is a great way that the 2 and the MystiCurve 1 marry together and work fantastic. Now I'm going to come around here, tilt that curve as I get that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my ditch ruler and ditch up here and continue on. So there you have it, the ruler that took 10 prototypes to make the way we love it. And we think you'll love it too. Now, again, remember, if you have the MystiCurve 1 and you love that ruler, it marries perfectly with the MystiCurve 2. It's wonderful for the outer and the inner curve, and also the 45-degree lines for working in borders. And you'll see some tutorials down the road for those. Have a wonderful day, take care of each other, and we'll see you down the road. So there, can you hear Gypsy snoring?